It does not feel like it's been 2 weeks. I feel like the last 2 weeks have went by really, really fast, but here we are again. So happy Friday. I'm happy to be jumping on this Let's Talk Mental Health live stream. If this is your first time, please remember that I am not a mental health professional yet. I can finally officially say that I'm not a mental health professional yet, but I'm working on it. But any advice or insights that I give during the stream is just based on my own experience and the experience of other people that I've interacted with. If you are having a mental health crisis, please reach out to a professional for help. I always link the crisis lines below. If you are needing help getting connected to someone, please let us know and we'll be happy to do that for you. Good morning, JD. Good morning, Outlaw family. Good morning, Sebastian Vaught. Awesome August Gaming in the house. I'm excited. I finally got to share some of my good news with you. So now I could talk about it on stream because it's been killing me the last couple of weeks. So I'm very excited to talk to you guys a little bit. But how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having an awesome week. I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I have a big test this afternoon. It's the CLEP for Psychology 101. I've been studying really hard, so I've got that energy that I'm ready and I'm feeling confident, but at the same time, getting little flutters in my tummy. So having some flutters this morning. Outlaw Family says, I'm watching while at the VA waiting for my appointment. Perfect. Actually, fun story there is I actually have a veteran who is now willing to interact with other veterans and stuff on the channel. He's a professional. He actually works for one of our state representatives, and he is going to be helping me. I have 2 meetings next week with a couple of our congressmen because I found out that having a felony on my record from 2004 actually disqualifies me from a lot of things I want to do with my outreach pertaining to my degree, including volunteering with the police department. So there's this pesky little law in Arizona that I have to get overturned because apparently in Arizona, you can't have a felony expunged. You can only have it set aside, which doesn't do any good if you want to work in the judicial system. So I'm going to meet with a couple congressmen next week to see about getting that law changed so that certain felonies can be expunged after a long enough period of time if it was your only offense. So fingers crossed, got to prepare for that. Got to prepare for my tests this evening or this afternoon. It's at 2. So this afternoon, a lot going on. I also have a couple articles to write and some homework to do. So my energy might just be a little all over the place, but I think you guys are kind of used to that. Hi, Pastor Dean. Awesome. August Gaming says, my nephew had a baby. I'm a great uncle now. Congratulations, Uncle August. Oh, no, Outlaw Family says, I need lots of help. They're messing with me on my benefits. Well, hopefully you're able to connect with someone today that will get that straightened out for you. I know it can be a giant pain. Andrew says, hi, Amanda. Hi, everyone. It's good to finally join everyone on the live stream. Welcome to your first live stream. Hello, Aaron, Nick, Christopher. So let's start with some good news. I thought that this was really awesome because I know that there's some people who really don't like birds. However, it made me think of Gloria. I don't know if you guys watched my vlog. Some of you might be new and you didn't see it, but it was a vlog just sharing some of my lessons on grief after I lost someone who was quite dear to me. She was a woman I used to caregive for, and she passed away last year. But one of the pieces of advice she gave me that I really resonated with was whenever you're feeling lost, just go outside and listen for the birds because they're always there for you. They'll always be there for you, and they can always give you grounding, like they can always ground you and give you insight. So this made me really happy to see this article. Being around birds boosts our mental well-being even 8 hours after hearing them. Being around birds makes people feel chirpy, but boosting mental well-being according to a new study. Seeing or hearing birds provides a lift to mental health, with the boost lasting for up to 8 hours according to the findings. Researchers used a phone app called Urban Mind. People were asked 3 times a day whether they could see or hear birds, and afterwards they responded to questions about their mental well-being. There's growing evidence on the mental health benefits of being around nature, and we intuitively think that the presence of birdsong and birds would help lift our mood, said lead author Ryan Hammond of King's College London. However, there's little research that's actually investigated the impact of birds on mental health in real time and in a real environment. By using the Urban Mind app, we have for the first time showed the direct link between seeing or hearing birds and positive mood. The 3-year study involved more than 1,200 participants who completed over 26,800 assessments using the Urban Mind app. These participants were mainly based in the UK, the EU, and the US. The study also collected information on existing diagnoses of mental health conditions such as depression. Through their findings, they found that hearing and seeing bird life improved the mental health of people with and without depression. An interesting data point showed that the bird's habitats, such as the sun-dabbled wood or the babbling brook, were not required for this improvement in mood. The term ecosystem services is often used to describe the benefits of certain aspects of the natural environment on our physical and mental health. However, it can be difficult to prove these benefits scientifically, said senior author Professor Andrea McKelly of King's College London. Our study provides an evidence base for creating and supporting biodiverse spaces that harbor bird life, since this is strongly linked with our mental health. I think that's fantastic. I can very much relate to that there are times when I'm just feeling very frustrated, very overwhelmed, very confused, very emotional, and I can go for a walk and just listen to the birds, and I didn't used to do that until Gloria. So again, thank you, Gloria, for giving me that bit of insight, but it's awesome to see that there is officially science behind that. So I was happy to read that, and just give a little extra nudge to anyone out there who dislikes birds or certain bird species. Yes, David made it. So power has been going out where David's at. So David made it. Hopefully he'll be able to stay. If not, we know he's still here in spirit. Yes, Mick, it works with all birds, apparently. Christopher says, hey, my brother knows well some birds, primarily in certain times of the year, blackbirds, become super defensive and territorial. They will dive bomb you. That does happen. They can become very territorial. They can attack if they feel like their territory is being threatened. But for the most part, birds can be a very positive thing. Bot says, today's okay day. Tomorrow is anniversary of my mother's death. Right now, it's okay. Tomorrow, I don't know yet, but I have no plans for Saturday. It's kind of a good idea to take days like that off if you can, or at least take time on days like that, just to allow your emotions to play out as they're going to. Allow yourself time to grieve, allow yourself time to honor your mom. I think that's really, really important. Goonbob says, Amanda, how do you deal with when you're having a rough day, when you're on meds and seemingly have done a 180, with the guilt of people thinking you're just cured and not allowed to be sad anymore? First and foremost, I don't take meds. I used to, and those just didn't work for me. So I can speak from my experience of the other half, but I am not on a prescription medication. So my answer might vary a little bit. But for me, I've had conversations with people close to me in my life where I've just kind of set them down and said, hey, I might be smiling, but that doesn't mean that I'm not struggling on the inside. And just because I have good days doesn't mean I don't have natural human emotions. And I mean, you could always just very passive aggressively share some of the videos on this channel, because it's very natural to have emotions. It's very natural to have days where we feel really sad. Even if you don't struggle with your mental health, it's very normal and natural to have days where you just feel sad, or days where you struggle, or to have experiences that trigger difficult emotions. That's very natural. And the more we can educate people on that, the better. And the more we can just have conversations with the people close to us and express when we're feeling sad, but honor the progress you've made, because clearly you've made a lot of progress in turning around, and snaps for that, little preliminary snaps for that. But there's no such thing as curing yourself of emotions, because they're not something that need to be completely eradicated. So being healed does not mean being happy all the time. And you can send them this exact clip when this chat is over. Being happy, being healthy, being in a good place does not mean that you're happy all the time. It just means that for the most part, you're able to function, you're able to engage in activities, you're able to communicate, you're able to work through those sad days instead of letting them cripple you. So good job for your progress. David Nelson says, how do you deal with grief and hatred towards yourself? I think that kind of depends on what triggered it. So my answer would be different depending on what the grief is about, and if the self-hatred is something that has come about because of the situation, or if it's something that you've always struggled with. I did post a video, David, if you're still in here, if you could post the link to this. I did post a video a while back on how to have a better self-esteem, how to believe in yourself more, how to improve your vision of yourself or your perception of yourself when you're struggling with self-hatred, because that's something I dealt with for a really, really long time. And sometimes those tapes still kind of get stuck in my head. I was bullied a lot. I was very ostracized. I was never accepted by my peers. So I tended to hate myself a lot, and then got into really toxic relationships, which only perpetuated that. And I just wound up waking up one day going, wow, I'm not the person that I used to be, that I want to be, that I meant to be. I feel like I lost that. So David, if you could post that, that would help a lot. Goonbob says, meds have helped me a lot, but people seem to think it's a cure-all. I've lost over 100 pounds and have really changed my mindset. So thank you, Amanda. I'm proud of you for changing your mindset. And as long as those 100 pounds were something that you strive to do and that you've done in a healthy way, I'm proud of that as well. So thank you so much for contributing. And I have nothing against meds. I really don't. I think that they can really help some people. I think they're very overprescribed in this country. And I think that, as you said, they're not a cure-all. They can be a tool in our toolbox for our mental health that works for some people and doesn't work for some people, and that's okay. But they're not a cure-all. Nothing's a cure-all. It takes a lot of different aspects, a lot of different changes, a lot of different things. That's why I do my free 5-day challenge, just to talk about some of those changes you can make to be at the top of your own happiness spectrum, of your own personal happiness spectrum. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to do so. Link is in the description of my videos. It'll be in the description of this one if you're watching it later. But it's not a cure-all. Nothing is a cure-all. Thank you, David, on the self-worth video. Lori says, oh, where is my husband? I'm actually not married, but my boyfriend is currently at work, not bringing me sandwiches dressed as Jeffrey Dahmer today. Anyone who happened to be in the last Patreon pack call knows what I'm talking about. Andrew Todd says, so I have an empty chair exercise next week regarding my toxic relationship with my mother. Is there any way to mentally prepare for that? I don't think I'm familiar with what an empty chair exercise is, unless you're talking about the situation where you imagine that person is there and you're communicating with them so that you can release the emotions that you have surrounding that person. In which case, I think the day before, there needs to be a certain level of really amping up the things that you're doing for yourself to make sure that you start in a positive mindset, or as positive a mindset as possible. Because when we go into things like this, they can tend to really drain us emotionally and drain our emotional bucket. However, if we're making sure that bucket is as full as possible when we go in, it makes that a little less jarring. It makes that that draining a little less jarring, because we're not starting on empty, if that makes sense. So I think, you know, sitting down and kind of preparing on, what do you want to say to her? What is important to you? What are you hoping to get out of this? What are you hoping to release? And just doing as much as you can for yourself in the days leading up to it. Lori, I have an 11-year-old little boy named Bryston, who, this picture is a couple of years old. Oh, I'm going to move the camera. I have to move the camera to get to it. This picture is a couple of years old, but yes, this is my son, Bryston. He's 11. He was Jack Skellington on Halloween. I was Sally, so we finally got to be Jack and Sally. Our song is Miss You by Blink-182, and he really wanted to have Halloween and Christmas and be Jack and Sally, so we might end up dressing up again on Christmas, but we put up our Halloween tree and got to celebrate. So maybe I should post that over on Instagram and see if I can't tag the guys Blink-182 and get a thumbs up or get a heart from them. Bryson would be very excited for that. Goonbob says, I gotta get back to work. Thanks, everyone. For the record, I didn't want to lose the pounds. I was 280 and very unhappy, and I'm much more confident now, even if I still do like my body. I assume that means don't like my body. Well, you're making progress. I'm proud of you. Thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you have a great, awesome, amazing day. So very, very awesome for your progress. Very, very good snaps for that. Eric Hilgendorf says, first time catching the live stream. Thanks for all the helpful content. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm glad you could finally be here. I forgot to say back in the beginning, this does get kind of crazy, so I can't see all of the comments, all of the messages, but if you do want to make sure that I see your message, please make sure to use that super sticker, super chat function. It will highlight it so I can see it, and all proceeds from that go toward my mental health outreach, even though a part of me really wants them to go toward college because it is expensive and it's going to be expensive. I've been applying for scholarships, but if you wanted to contribute to that too, just make a note that that's what you want to contribute to. But it all goes toward mental health outreach in one way or another. So make sure to use that if you really want to make sure that I see your message in case things get crazy. Or if you're just wanting to pledge to make me do something crazy so that we can raise money for mental health outreach and the projects and stuff, you can also do that. You can also pledge for me. They've had me doing the Macarena. They've had me doing the worm and all sorts of weird stuff. And I got my dancing boots on. It's finally fall, and I finally got to wear boots today, and I'm so excited. It's sweater and boot weather, and I was just so excited to wear boots today. So I think I need some dancing boots. Thank you, Nick. Yes, Nick's is buy a sticker, and she'll see it. Thank you. Mwah. David says forensically blonde. Yes, that's going to be the name of a future book I write, I'm sure. Hi, Nick. Zipfitmion says, good evening, morning, day, however, from where you are. Greetings from Austria. Greetings to you too. It makes me think of the Truman Show. Good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you, Lori. David says, I would break my neck in those boots. These boots are actually super comfy. Very, very comfy. Did you ever learn to do the worm? No, not really. I guess I'll have to add that into my repertoire, into my studying. I'm going to have to study some dances for you guys. Jay Wolford says, good morning. Thank you for your channel. I'm taking a break from schoolwork as I have a serious case of the I don't wannas. While I am in counseling, I have been in a funk lately. Man, my yesterday was just a case of the I don't wannas, where I knew I had to study, but I'm thinking, but I really just want to watch a kill count right now. I just really, really want to go watch a kill count. And I was trying not to push myself too hard, but I definitely had my day of the I don't wannas. And it can get very frustrating sometimes. And sometimes I just have to tell myself, I don't have to wanna, I just have to do. I don't have to want to do it. I just have to put my nose to the grindstone and say, I'm going to do it anyway, whether I want to or not. Nick Zimmerman says, I am here to chat. I have severe bipolar depression. Well, welcome to the community. Welcome to the chat. Feel free to ask anything that you want or to share anything that you want if you're just having some stuff you want to get off your chest. Jay says, my girlfriend passed last August, and just over a year ago, I almost voluntarily joined her. It's been on my mind a lot and just been getting by watering my pillow. Well, I'm sure I will get through. It's been on my mind a lot lately. I have a lot of acquaintances, but not many I feel close enough to talk about how I'm feeling. Well, I'm glad that we can be here for you. It's very difficult when we lose a loved one. It can be such a challenge to figure out how to kind of redefine life after that loss. And I've lost friends. I've lost my parents. I've lost a lot of people in my life, and grief is something that every human struggles with, no matter how well off you are, no matter how successful you are. Grief hits every person. Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you very much. But I think that there's a lot of things we can do. I actually made a video about this. David, once again, if you wouldn't mind dropping the link to this, I did make a video back on Mother's Day about coping with grief and loss, and this was specifically talking about my mom and my baby, but anyone can utilize these tips. It kind of works for anyone. So if you're having, I know we've talked a bit this morning, there's quite a few people having anniversaries coming up, and those are really hard days to get through. They're very hard for me too. Actually, the anniversary of my miscarriage is here in a few days, and that's really difficult. Days like that are really difficult to get through. And it's a matter of, if you can take time off, if you can at least lighten your load that day, take time to honor the person, take time to connect with your emotions and not be ashamed of them and not try to stop them, and just allow them to come out in a healthy way. So finding healthy ways to process your emotions while also finding ways to connect with the love of the person that you lost. And in many cases, like my parents, the wisdom of those people. I like to go and do something kind for a stranger on the anniversary of my parents passing. So It can be really challenging for sure, but there are things we can do to get through those days. And please know that we are here for you. If you're needing to come on the channel, if you're needing to send an email, if you're needing to just chat, come in here in the live stream. We are here for you to make sure that you get through these days. Thank you, David. Nick says, when I lost my dad, it crushed me. Yeah, losing my mom crippled me for years. I had no idea how to function. I had no idea how to do anything. I couldn't hold a job. I couldn't really make myself food. I couldn't function. I wound up, that was when I really started to get into drugs. That's when I started smoking again. That's when I started drinking. I mean, I just really lost myself completely. And in that video where I was talking about grief, these are the things that I wish I would have known at that point when I was falling apart and I had no skills and I had no coping mechanisms, really. These are the things that I wish I would have known, that I wish somebody would have told me. So that's why I wanted to share them, was I think it could help a lot of people not go into that dark place when they lose someone. JD says, Amanda, we want to see David dance. David, if we get enough pledges, are you willing to post a video? Are you willing to do just a quick little video for our amazing supporters here? He says, David says, I do a great Shakira dance in my head. Real life, I'm a taser Frankenstein. Isn't it funny? I feel like that when I sing in the shower, I am at the freaking award ceremony. You know, I've got my microphone and I'm on stage. I've got my shampoo bottle. I pretend it's my microphone. I'm on stage and I'm belting it out. And I feel bad for anyone that's within earshot, because I probably sound like a dying hyena with my back leg caught in a car door. But in my head, I am Beyonce, all right? David says thumbs up. David says that if we get enough pledges, he will do a dance for the channel. So I think we need to see some pledges for David's dance here to raise money for the mental health outreach, but also because I've seen the Shakira dance and it's worth it, guys. It's worth it. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. Hello, Alan Saul. He says, hello, listen for a long time, first time chatting. Well, I'm glad that you are in here. I'm glad that we finally called Saul into the chat, guys. Edward says, we are trying to help mental health, not traumatize people. Hashtag no David. Okay, here's the thing. Anyone who pledges has to pledge David dance or David no dance. And whoever gets the most at the end of this chat is the one who wins. So we'll see whether or not David ends up dancing. So if you are scared to see David dancing, then you should probably pledge to stop that from happening. If you're dying to see David dance in his Shakira dance with his shirt tied up and his belly exposed, then you don't want to miss this opportunity. Oh, Edward. JD says, if you dance for me, I'll stuff $1 at a time in your waistband. Oh, JD pledged $1. We got $1. That's for the David dancing here. Eagle says, what recommendations do you have for finding a qualified mental health professional who is actually helpful? Excellent question, because it can be very difficult to find someone that you resonate with. And that's really important, because I've had dozens and dozens and dozens of professionals over the years, and I'm not seeing anyone now, but it took me a long time to find someone I resonated with. And unfortunately, we can be very limited by our insurance. So I think that depending on where you're at, once you get into the system, once you get into a location, so most places are going to have more than one professional in that location. And once you get into their system, then you don't have to do another intake because you'll be in their system. So just trying to find some place that has a variety of professionals and getting into their system, doing the intake, having a couple of appointments with the person that they recommend for you. And if it doesn't work out, not being ashamed to say, hey, this isn't working for me. I need someone else. I need to change to someone else. There's no shame in that. I've had to do that. And nowadays, it's a lot easier because you can use BetterHelp or organization like that. So BetterHelp actually has online therapy where you get matched with someone within a couple of days, and they really try and tailor it to your needs. So if you're a veteran or you're LGBT or you have PTSD or you have a specific disorder, they will try and tailor their care toward that, as opposed to just matching you with whatever counselor is available. And I can get you my link, but I think it's betterhelp.com/Amanda Webster, and you can get 10% off your first month of treatment. So it's really awesome way to kind of try out different people. If you've had a lot of experience with just not meshing with professionals, I would highly suggest doing that, because instead of having to go through the intake and wait months or weeks or whatever the case is, sometimes years. I had a friend who was actively suicidal and waited a year to get into treatment. Then I would highly suggest using something like BetterHelp. And you can do a text chat or text a call or a video call. So there's a lot of options there. And it's great if you're in a smaller town, if you're in a more rural area that doesn't have a lot of options. So that would be my suggestion. Mick pledged for $5 for no dance. So far, David's not going to have to dance. Yeah, David says, you'll make sure you find someone that you're comfortable with. They're there to help you, not tell you what to do exactly. I very much believe in person-focused therapy versus the therapist who's going to psychoanalyze you and tell you everything that's wrong with you and everything that they would mandate that you do, instead of helping you figure out something that will work for you and that isn't going to work against you. Because I know in a lot of cases, if someone has, let's say someone has borderline personality disorder, the treatments that would work for someone who has bipolar disorder or for someone who just has generalized depression isn't going to be the same. You have to have a tailored treatment for that. So finding someone, if you know that you have a specific disorder, finding someone who specializes in that disorder can also be very helpful as well, because again, the treatments can be very, very different. Andy Nameless says, I struggled for the past 2 years finding someone suited for me, changing almost 5 professionals. It's okay to keep searching. Absolutely. So who thinks it's time to jump into some snaps? I think we need some wins from the community for the week. There's some good ones this week. I don't know if we have good ones because I haven't read them, but we have a fair amount this week. So I'm very excited. If this is your first time, this is inspired by Legally Blonde 2 as a way of just sharing some warm fuzzies with the community, sharing our wins, sharing some positivity, because we can tend to get really hard on ourselves when we're struggling with our mental health. And this is just a reminder that we always have wins to celebrate, but it comes with a song. So Edward, Mick, cover your ears. Everyone else, sing with me. Snap cup time, gather ye round. Friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. Okay, I don't sound quite as great as Elle Woods, but still get to share a lot of positivity. Thank you, Aaron. So first is Luke Alone Productions. Well, I went back to college. Yay, I'm not the only one. It's hard for me because I'm very stressed, but I want to try to finish archaeology and have a diploma. Also, I lost 2 kilograms of my that's another win. Oh, of my weight, I think. So that's another win. Well, snaps to going back for college, and even with stress, as long as you're managing that stress and as long as you're mitigating the life stressors as much as possible and the daily hassles as much as possible, it is very, very achievable, very, very attainable. And I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very happy to be, hey, I snap louder because of this today. I'm very happy to be doing it. I hope that you find as much as I do in it, as much joy and as much fulfillment as I do in being able to go back and prove, hey, I can do this. I'm smart enough, and even with these challenges, I'm gonna run right through this roadblock, right through these obstacles. And I'm proud of you for meeting your physical goals as well. So double snaps for that. Irish Penguin says, so thank you all. Thank you. Oh, last time I was here was a few months ago talking about how I was isolating myself during depression. My friends didn't think it was good. Thanks for all the advice. I'm back working and on the up. I'm so happy to hear that. Snaps to an Irish Penguin for being able to work through that. You know, we all get down sometimes and we need a community. We need people to care about us and help us through that. And I like to think of it as we're the people who have been through hell, and we're just taking the buckets of water back to the people who are still there. So we're helping put out the flames, and I'm happy to hear that this particular fire is being managed now. Irish Penguin says Amanda helped, and so did everyone in the chat. Well, I'm humbled to be able to help. I'm proud of you. Oop. Vought Vicar, are you still in here, Vought? I got new neighbors, husband, wife, and a daughter. I met them by chance in the stairwell, and it was quite okay. We talked a bit, and 2 days later, he asked me if I could help him carry something big and bulky from the trailer into the apartment. I had time, so I thought, why not? We ended up sitting on the couch talking about this and that, and I made a new friend. Snaps to Vought for making a new friend. It's always so amazing when we can connect with someone. A lot of the times we're just in our day-to-day hustle and our day-to-day rat race, and we are very disconnected. And I actually just made a friend with a woman up the street, and we have decided to start we're going to a book club together once a month. So I'm very excited to start doing that. We just read Sense and Sensibility together, which was very interesting, gave a lot of insight on some of the different social struggles that people of different classes had throughout this particular time in history. But I think it really gave a bit of insight on how that has affected people in general, because I think it's something we still face even today, but it was so much different back in that time period. Hello, Vought. I'm glad that you're here to hear us read your win. Alkin says, oh, it's okay, Luke. Luke says, sorry for the autocorrect. It's okay. It's all right. It happens to me all the time. Fun story is after me and my son's father had separated, we were still on pretty good terms, and I had messaged him to ask if he could bring any cough drops because I wasn't feeling good, and my phone corrected it to another C word. So I asked him if he had any cough drops, which was incredibly awkward. And I don't know why my phone autocorrected to that because I hate that word. I never use it. But apparently my phone decided to autocorrect to that. And I asked my ex if he had any cough drops. So believe me, autocorrect fail has gotten me as well. Alkin says, I dared to go to the first appointment with the psychotherapist despite severe anxiety and nausea. I'm proud of you, Alkin, for pushing through that discomfort. I know that can be so difficult when everything in us is saying, don't do this. Oh my gosh, I can't handle this. We can, and it's difficult. And I have an appointment like this coming up too, where I'm having a lot of anxiety surrounding it. And I'm feeling sick to my stomach when I think about it. And as I often say, sometimes you have to do it scared. Sometimes we have to do things uncomfortable. And I'm proud of you for making that step to do it anyway. I hope it went well. And I hope that this person can give you some insight and give you some assistance in your healing journey. Damien says, been a while. Hello, Damien. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Irish Penguin. Good to see you, Damien. Edward says, that means you were using that word, badman. I swear I wasn't. Ask Aaron. I despise that word. That's one of those words that just make me cringe when people say it. As a matter of fact, it kind of made me feel icky just saying it just now. David Gaps says, started evening yoga for my back and neck 3 nights in a row now. I'm proud of you for sticking with it for 3 nights. I think that yoga can be immensely helpful. I pledged at the beginning of this year to do yoga every single day, and it is November 4th, and I'm still at it. I'm still sticking with that, and it's made a big difference. So let us know how that works for you, but I'm proud of you for taking that first step and for sticking with it for 3 days. Yep, Edward says you have to be uncomfortable at times to progress. Absolutely. Irish Penguin says, Damien, hey buddy, how are you? Exact same first name as me. I love it. Oh, this awesome. August Gaming says, just the other day someone was texting me. I tried to say, give me a sec, but the phone auto-corrected to give me a sec. So yeah, that was awkward. Yeah, I've had that happen before too. Michael Gilrery says, anxiety disorder syndrome, sometimes agoraphobic. Wish I had some ones. However, I do go to the store for food. That's huge. Having agoraphobia can be crippling. I remember after my mom passed away, I had really bad agoraphobia. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to socialize with anyone. I pretty much just hermited up and watched a lot of TV and videos and stuff and played on MySpace. Yeah, I just aged myself. But I think being able to go to the store is a huge first step and a huge a huge accomplishment in being able to confront that. So snaps to you for being able to go to the store. You do have wins. See, this is the thing, is sometimes we don't see our wins, and it takes other people saying, hey, but you got up this morning and you put pants on, or maybe just, hey, you got up this morning and you made yourself a meal, or maybe just, hey, you got up this morning. But I think it's amazing that you were able to go to the store, so I'm proud of you, and I hope to hear more about your experience. I have had several friends and several life coaching clients who struggle with agoraphobia, and myself included, as I just mentioned. And a lot of times exposure therapy is very, very effective. I know some people in here have gone through exposure therapy as well, and it can be very effective. I made a video on that a while back on how I was dealing with certain triggers and stuff, and how I was using exposure therapy for that. So that may be something to check out. But with things like agoraphobia, it's really one step at a time. Sometimes it's just, going outside, going for a walk around your neighborhood where you feel comfortable and where you're close to home, and you can go back as soon as you need to. And then maybe when you go to the store, you're wearing headphones, so you can be lost in your own little world with your own music and stuff. You don't have to deal with those other people. And then maybe at some point, getting a friend to go with you, or a sibling or someone like that to go with you, so you have that safe person. So there's steps you can take without having to just rip the Band-Aid off all at once, because it can be very difficult to deal with. I very much acknowledge that those things can be very difficult to deal with. Edward says, exposure therapy is wonderful, difficult, but worth it. Absolutely. Justin Flores says, I just discovered your channel. You already helped me more than people around you. I am very humbled. I'm very happy to help. So I'm glad. This is a long one. I love it. Heart and Soul says, I've spent I did give snaps to Michael, right? By the way, okay. Just extra snaps in case I forgot. Heart and Soul, I spent the past 6 years having undiagnosed depression and anxiety, but finally during the middle of 2020, when I was reaching lower and deeper depression, I realized I needed to get help. Suicidal ideation started to become constant, everyday thoughts. On many occasions, I felt like it was time to end my pain. So I finally stood up to my demons instead of on constant bended knee, and fought them harder than I ever have. The hardest part was admitting out loud that I wanted to die, but I just couldn't let them torment me anymore. Got on medication for my depression, which unfortunately made me feel more numb than anything, so I stopped taking it, which ultimately made me realize even more that these demons won't go away, so I had to accept them, but not to pretend they don't exist. Now in 2022, having very few bad days, I can confidently say that I kept those demons in place and let them know I will never let them win. Anxiety, however, is a different story, but I will overcome that too. Snaps for you to standing up for your demons and for making friends with them. I say that all the time, that we can't ignore that part of ourselves. I don't ignore my shadow. I find ways to work with her. And that's part of why I chose forensic psychology as my degree, is because I think it gives her time to shine, and it gives her time to utilize her skills and her passion to do something good instead of something bad. So I'm a firm believer that most people or most dark things can be funneled toward a specific thing. Like, we can focus our energy, even if it is darker energy, we can focus that towards something. Think of it kind of like Dexter. Dexter has these impulses, and Harry, his father, chooses him or teaches him how to choose to do the more positive thing with these impulses, as opposed to doing the destructive thing. And I think that that is the case in many situations. I think that a lot of serial killers, or a lot of really bad people in history, just needed a place to channel their darkness in a more positive way. So I'm proud of you for being able to make friends with the demons and really get out of that dark place. And yeah, sometimes you do have bad days, as I said before, but that's human. That's okay. And I believe that you'll overcome the anxiety too. So snaps to you for overcoming, and snaps to you for believing in yourself as much as we believe in you. Good morning, Carrie. Awesome. August Gaming says spoilers. Not really. I think that that's a pretty central theme of Dexter. That's kind of something you find out pretty early on. Damien says, snaps that I finally returned here. Absolutely. I don't know why this camera keeps trying to weirdly focus. It's driving me nuts. Oh, Eagle says, sorry to distract from the conversation, but I'm in a bad way and I just need a website or something. If you're needing something to empower yourself, you can always take the free 5-day challenge, and that gives some insights and tips on how to improve your mental health. If you're looking for professional help, I always link the hotlines for the country below, as I said, or you can use a website such as BetterHelp. If you're just needing to talk, we are definitely here. You're not a distraction. You're not a burden, not at all. So if you're just needing to talk to someone, please just let us know. Let's see. I had Awesome August Gaming says, I haven't seen Dexter yet. That is just blasphemy. I don't understand. I'm not comprehending this. Everybody needs to see Dexter. It's mandatory. Good evening, Tyler, the Superman. Can't read it upside down. Sharad Vimalanathan, I hope I said that somewhat correctly. If not, I apologize. I finally made a decision to cut out someone I was practically joined at the hip to during my university days. Oh, I've been there. I was admittedly a poor person and bad friend due to my insecurities. Since then, I've made seemingly countless apologies with a genuine wish that I found both maturity and inner peace much earlier in my life. However, she has repeatedly gone out of her way to personally put me down and even discredit me as a working professional. No longer. Sometimes, no matter how painful it is, the only way to find my resolve was to cut off the thing that was hurting me. I've cried myself to sleep several times this week, wondering if I did the right thing by blocking her. But my anxiety is gone. I don't have panic attacks. Job done. I think you just answered your own question. If you're around someone and being around that person makes your hands sweat and makes your brain go all fuzzy, we try to say, oh, that's us being Twitter-pated with that person. No, that's anxiety. When you're around someone and they're giving you an anxiety that is hard to manage, not the excitement of butterflies, but the clustered thoughts of anxiety, that's not a good sign. And I think that really is a measure in and of its own, just to say, hey, how do I feel when I'm spending time around this person? If the answer is I'm feeling bad about myself or I'm struggling to manage my mental health and a conversation doesn't work and they just attack more, that's a pretty clear indication that you need to get away from that person. So snaps to you for having the strength to walk away. I know it can be very difficult. I had a friend that was a very close friend of mine for about 5 years, and we were inseparable through our late teens, early 20s. We were completely inseparable, but I just started to grow in a different direction. And at that point, our interactions became very toxic, and it was very difficult for me to even be around this person. And clearly she wasn't happy around me either. And in our adult years, as I grew up in my late 20s and early 30s, and I moved back down here to Phoenix, she wanted to reconnect, and I tried, and it just didn't work out. And that's okay, because sometimes people are meant to be in our lives for a season, not a lifetime. Sandwich is back. Hello. Just having fun at work, and my girlfriend and I are doing great. I'm so happy for you that you found someone. You deserve that. You deserve to have someone that makes you happy. Eugene Asbel says, morning, AWeb. Sorry I haven't been around for 3 weeks. Had corneal abrasion that got infected and left me temporarily blind with incredible and painful light sensitivity. That sounds terrifying. I'm still battling after effects, but my right eye will probably need corrective surgery. Anyway, I hope y'all weren't worried. So gonna recover as best I can, and when I get better, I will holla. So thank you for doing what you do. Thanks for checking in and letting us know. I do tend to worry when I don't see people in here for a while. So if you do come in here regularly and then you disappear for a while, please just let us know if you're needing to take a break. Otherwise, I start to get really concerned. I remember Rick James disappeared for a while, and I just nearly had a panic attack about it. I think I did have a couple of anxiety attacks about it, not full-blown panic attacks, but I was just so worried, because when people become part of this community, they do feel like my friends, and many of you are my friends, and I really worry, just as a friend would. But snaps to you for knowing to take time for yourself, and you never need to apologize for not coming around. This channel and this community is just here when you need it, so you never need to apologize when you need a break, just like I did with the channel, just how I took a step back, and I knew that could have effects on the channel or on the Patreon support or things like that. And it has, and that's okay, because I know that the people that need the channel are still here, and the people that can support still will. So I completely understand just needing to recover sometimes, and that's okay. Take as much time as you need. I think this one was 2 pieces. Anthony J. Adventure says, well, I fulfilled my dream of finally seeing all my favorite bands live in person. I saw a Weird Al in concert in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, then drove to Paradise, Pennsylvania, went to the bridge on Route 30, 5 minutes from my former home in Kinser, Pennsylvania. I used to love watching the Amtrak go by and see the Strasburg locomotive switch from one end to the other to go from Paradise back to Bronx. It's the same spot where 475 crashed into a backhoe yesterday, November 2nd, 2022. But yeah, brought back pleasant memories from the few years I lived there. Oh, and I got suspended from TikTok again for airsoft stuff of all things. Laugh out loud. Fug it. Fug it. I love it. It's kind of like pug. Yeah, new safe way to spell F. There you go. Laugh out loud. Everybody, you rock. Don't be shy. It's safe here. It is safe here. Don't be shy to share your feelings. Well, snaps to you for getting to achieve a dream, for achieving a goal. That's amazing. I hope that all of your bands were everything that you wanted them to be. Everything that you dreamed up and that you waited for. I hope it was a good experience for all of those different bands and for just, taking some nostalgia time. We all need sometimes to connect with those things that we have let go or that we stopped doing for no other reason than just we stopped making time for it, but they still make us very happy. Carrie says, we can't find a residential program that takes our insurance or that even has beds open. KSO, now we're just going back in the cycle of getting out, being okay, not being okay, cutting in suicidal ideations, and back into the short-term stay, rinse, and repeat. It's demoralizing. I can completely understand how demoralizing that must feel and how frustrating that must be. So are you looking for an inpatient program in your area, or are you just looking for treatment? I'm really sorry that you've received that kind of treatment from the system and that you're getting such discouraging news and such discouraging process. The process of dealing with things like this can just be so maddening. And I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. But I hope that we can help either find something or help work something out so you can get the treatment that you need, because you deserve to heal and you deserve to have something that works for you and something that really gets you through what you need to get through. I think this is our last one. Jake Smith says, got to watch the World Series and the Nightmare Before Christmas with my girlfriend, not at the same time. It was the first time we actually got to do anything after she was in quarantine. Thank you for the well wishes during that time. I'm happy to hear that she's out of quarantine, that you get to spend time with her, that you got to do something enjoyable. As I said, Bryce and I were Jack and Sally for Halloween, so he really loves Nightmare Before Christmas. I've only seen it once, but I do know the premise, but that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that she's recovering, and I'm happy to hear that you guys are doing so well and that you got to enjoy some much needed, much deserved time to yourselves after all of that. So just keep making time for the relationship and for yourself. Carrie says she needs residential. We have to break this cycle. Where are you located, Carrie? I think that makes a big difference as well. Last Madsen says, it's going to take talking to Eagle. It's going to take time to adjust. Just do it one day at a time. Creating a new life is a hard thing to do, even harder when it's so upturning as your situation is. Absolutely. And I think as long as you're making positive progress every day, that's all that really matters. People think that you go to a therapist once, or you take a pill, or you start eating healthy, or whatever the case is, or you read this Wayne Dyer book, and all of a sudden, poof, you're healed, and you never have depression symptoms again, and you just live in this land of rainbows and sunshine, and that's not how mental health works. It's not how health in general works. Imagine if you just expected to go to the gym one time and lose 100 pounds. That's not how it works, Health, it takes time to get us to this place, and it takes time to get back out of it, and that's okay. We just have to find ways to make ourselves as comfortable as possible during that time. David was saying to Carrie, support her and love her, be that positive light in her life. And sometimes that's all you can do. Okay, Carrie says, Kansas City, Missouri. I will see what I can find. If you want to drop me an email, my email is in the video descriptions. If you want to drop me an email, I'll see what I can find, but it can be very difficult with insurance and stuff. I'm sure that you've done your due diligence. Aaron says, another one for school. Tell us the coolest thing you learned this week from your psychology class. Well, it definitely wasn't the Oedipus concept. let's see, the coolest thing. Let me take a minute to think. But as far as Carrie, I understand that support and love isn't enough right now, but there definitely are options, and I hope that we can help you figure something out for that, even if it's not perfect. I hope that we can figure something out. Let's see. Most interesting thing I learned this week. I've learned, my brain is just so full of stuff right now. I've learned so much. It's insane. But I actually really like the concept of Maslow's pyramid, because a lot of the times we try to fulfill all of our needs at the same time, or we obsess over a lot of different concepts. And the truth is there is a hierarchy to our needs, as Maslow talks about. There's a hierarchy to our needs, and first we have to have the physiological needs met, right? First we have to have those basic physiological needs met, and then we have to have our safety needs met. We have to feel safe and secure in our environment, and then we have to have our love needs met, and then our esteem needs. And I think having kind of that blueprint made a big difference in my head, because it kind of gives you a checklist. Okay, am I doing everything I can to meet my basic needs right now? Am I eating healthy? Am I being active? Am I taking care of my health as far as going to a doctor if I need to, or whatever the case is, seeing a professional if I need to? Okay, yeah, now let's go up to the next one. Am I in a safe environment? If not, how can I change that environment? How can I make it more safe? So I think that it almost acts as a checklist to or a triage of sorts of dealing with our struggles and our challenges. Carrie says, I've called every place I can find. There are just no beds for children. That's really, really frustrating. That's very frustrating. I hope that we can find something. So we have about 10 minutes left. So if there are any more pledges for David's dancing or not dancing, if there are any more pledges for school, or just any pledges for the mental health outreach, pledges to get me to do some weird dances. I don't even know. People, I think sometimes guys just make things up and say, you need to do this dance. And I'm going, either I am really out of the loop, or you're making this up on the spot, because it just sounds like gibberish. But I will be happy to do what I can for the cause today. Awesome August Gaming says, just try not to go too deep into Sigmund Freud. Oh my gosh, some of his stuff is odd. Yeah, we've had to study Freud a lot, like the Oedipus concept, and it is incredibly odd. The stages of sexuality. Yeah. I can understand the psychoanalysis, the psychodynamics, things like that. I can understand why that was relevant at the time, or in some cases can be relevant. But yeah, when you start getting into the sexual stages of children and the Oedipus concept and stuff like that, no, thank you. I definitely, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that I read and I go, well, I know that's not going to be my perspective. I know that's not going to be what I'm teaching. Nick says river dance. What the hell is the river dance? I mean, what is this? I think you're making this up. You have to be making this up. We're going to have to make a note to do this on the next stream, because I just have no idea what you're talking about. Somebody describe the river dance to me. I don't know what we're doing. River dance in those boots? What? Nick says, nope, it's a dance. Oh, it's Irish dancing. Okay. River dance is pretty traditional Irish dancing. So that where they just kind of kick their legs out? What? Apparently, I don't know river dancing. Look, I try not to be an uncultured swine, but apparently I'm just out of the loop on pretty much everything music related, everything dance or song related. I'm just out of the loop on. Irish penguin scroting. Okay. That's how, Andy says that's how I discovered this channel, was with the Inside the Fire reaction. Well, I'm glad that it brought you in. I'm glad you're here. Arms at the side, and you just move your legs. That is not descriptive. Okay, I gotta look this up real fast. Google river dance. Apparently, river dance tickets. No. It looks much like the can. It looks like they're doing tree pose. It literally just looks like they're doing tree pose. I think, let's see, river dance on YouTube. So you might hear this for a second. Irish step dancing, okay. Oh goodness, of course we have to get some kind of political advertisement. You know, that's what I want for Christmas. I want YouTube Red for Christmas, so I never have to see political advertisements when election season comes around. Ever, ever, ever again. That would be fantastic. I discovered it through Popular Monster, Eagle says. Awesome. Okay, let's see. What in the absolute cinnamon toast fuck? I think that Mick has a lot of faith in me if he thinks I can tap dance. What? First and foremost, can I even do that without killing myself in these boots? See, easy dance. My brain's exploding right now. I don't know what to do. JD says, I love YouTube Premium. Well worth the money. Oh, yes, that's right. It changed. It changed. It's not YouTube Red anymore. Carrie says, a lot of those early psychologists, psychoanalysts provided great foundations to build on, and some are used to lessons on what not, as used as lessons as what not to do. Yes, absolutely agree. And he says, Filia, we're already past those political ads here in Italy. The worst part, now we have Mussolini 2.0 in the government. Happy, happy country. Yee. Edward S. YouTube will never get money from me. Yeah, it's very frustrating because I just hate, and I don't say hate often, but I hate all the negativity that comes with the political ads and all of the visual pollution that comes with those things. Just being out and about in the community. I can't wait. Election is next week, I think. I think it's next Monday or Tuesday. But I can't wait till it's over and I can just get back to having them advertise random coaches on YouTube. I'd rather just deal with that because at least that's not making me want to rip my hair out. It's not making me feel negative. Irish Penguin says, listing, you can't even be Irish in Ireland without causing a problem. Don't start. Nick says, that face was worth it. Well, I'm glad because I don't know. I think I'd break my face. I think I'd break my face on that one. Irish Penguin says, vote for the cat. You can vote for me. Meow. You can vote for me, I promise. I would probably get assassinated in a day for not conforming to what politicians wanted me to do. Andy Nameless says, right now I get Tel Aviv abs. I don't want to travel. Leave me alone, YouTube. It really freaks me out, though, how when it's not election season, the ads are things that I either talked about with a friend or just random abstract stuff. Sometimes I'll get a lot of coaching stuff, but sometimes it'll just be, I randomly have this conversation with my friend and all of a sudden I'm getting ads for it. And we had a conversation on the phone. We didn't text it. I didn't search anything. It's just we had a conversation on the phone, or even worse, when you have a conversation next to your phone and all of a sudden you're getting ads for something that you talked about. Oh, that freaks me out so hard. The other day when I was talking about Dahmer with someone, I swear to God, the next day I ended up getting this ad for a restaurant that sells Beyond Human. So it's vegan, it's vegan human meat. And I'm just, that is creepy that I'm talking about Dahmer and all of a sudden getting ads for that. That was really weird. Edward asks if I have Alexa. I do not. I do not have Alexa or Google Home or anything like that. Nope. Carrie, I agree with you. The ads actually make me want to buy that stuff less. Yeah, I agree with you. I've never seen an ad for something and went, man, now I really want to buy that. And has anyone ever seen a political ad and said, oh man, yeah, that really influenced my way of thinking about this person, especially when it's just the posters outside, you know? I'm not going to say, oh, it says vote for Mark Kelly or whatever. I'm not going to vote for this person just because a sign said vote for this person. Are you kidding me? I just don't understand the psychology behind that. Andy says it's just the algorithm that collects everything, even from what we talk near devices. Yeah, it gives me creeps too. It's basically Black Mirror stuff. Yeah, it's very unsettling to me to think about what is being tracked. And when I have serious conversations with people, I make it a point to keep our phones out of the area, out of the room. Edward says, usually political ads reinforce why I'm not voting for that person. The thing that frustrates me is nowadays political ads aren't, here's what I'm going to do for you. It's here's why the other guy is awful. And isn't that just toxic communication 101? That instead of saying, here's why I'm a good candidate, it's here's why this person's a bad candidate. So I now have no faith in you if all you know how to do is mudsling. Ad hominem attacks just never really are effective on me, because I know if you're saying this person does this, number one, you're blowing it way out of proportion. I know you are. I know you're not basing it on facts. But if you can't tell me what you're going to do positively, I don't want to hear what the other person is going to do negatively. It's just fear mongering, and I don't buy into that. So if you can tell me, vote for me because I'm going to do this for you, I'm more apt to listen to you than here's reasons to be scared of the other guy, you know? But the signs everyone puts in their yards are so pretty. No, they're not. They're ugly. They're not pink and sparkly. If I ever run for any public office, I want my sign to just be very pink, and I want it to have lots of rhinestones, and I want it to just emanate glitter. I just want it to randomly have little glitter bombs, you know, as people walk by, just sparkles and happiness. See, I agree with Edward. Eliminate ads, require debates. That would be better. I think that we should get the packet in the mail. We all get a packet in the mail here before elections. It says, here's what these people believe in, and here's what they support. And I think that's all we really need. I don't want the ads. I don't want the signs. I think all of that should be banned. And we should just be able to get these things that say, here's what they believe in. I think that, of course, they should be able to have their debates. I say do away with campaign funding, do away with ads, and allow them to really stand on their merits and not their money, and not spamming people constantly. Awesome. August Gaming, vote for Amanda for prez. I feel like I would just get in the White House and go, what the fudge is this, guys? What the cinnamon toast are you doing with this entire system? Here's the thing. First and foremost, redecorate this office because it's hideous. Second, we need to have a conversation about pretty much everything. We're just going to scrap everything and start over, all right? Yeah, David says, tell us what you'll do, not why the other person is crap. Agree. If you won't debate, you should not be on the ballot, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that you should be able to stand up for what you believe in. Jay says, it sounds like Amanda's in Arizona. Hello from Tucson. Yep, I'm up here in the valley, so hello, hello. Irish Penguin says, gotta go. Time to walk the dogs again. Thank you, everyone in the community, and thank you, Amanda, for all the help. I will check in again. I also hope everyone does well and stays safe. Mwah, proud of you for your progress. Thank you for stopping by. Andy Nameless, tell the president we have a problem. You are the president, sir. Then I already know everything, kind of stuff. Yeah. Nick says, now I'm hungry for cinnamon toast crunch. Oh, it's funny. It's funny because I don't really get involved in politics because I think it just tends to be really toxic. So for me, if I'm going to vote, it's okay. I take this time, I read about my candidates, I vote, and then I kind of step away from it. Although, like I said, I have to go meet with a congressman next week to hopefully be able to change the law here in Arizona. Hopefully, to be able to change the law in Arizona to allow felonies to be expunged. So I have my club today here in 3 hours, and I have to meet with the congressman next Wednesday. So wish me luck, guys. I have a lot going on to change the world, change the way we do things. So yeah, got to get that pesky little law off the books and got to go pass this test. So I'm gonna do some reviewing and whatnot, but I think we're good. Phoenix. Andy Nameless, I have to go too, guys. A really wonderful community. I'll surely drop back in the next live stream. Stay safe, y'all. Stay safe to you as well. Thanks for coming by. Glad to have some new people here in the stream. I have to be going to, so I can eat before my test, because nothing is worse than going into a test or going into a yoga class or really going into anything hungry, especially as a female. I just don't deal well with hunger, and I will rip your face off. So I don't think that the person proctoring this test really wants me to just bite their face off, and I'm pretty sure that cannibalism is frowned upon. So in order to not escalate to that, in order to not have to go borrow Aaron's glasses, I am going to go eat and study a little bit, refresh my brain, and go ace this test, go knock it out of the park. So I adore you guys. David says, go get your Beyond Human. Metal Marks is what test you got. It's my CLEP for Psychology 101, so I'm testing out a Psychology 101. Remember, don't eat people. That is some pretty solid life advice. Edward says, will we be doing wins on off weeks? Yes. So thank you for bringing that up, Edward. I'm going to start posting wins on the weeks that we're not doing streams, just so we can still do that over in the community. Unfortunately, you will not have the pleasure of hearing me sing and do the Snap Cup, but I still do want to be able to acknowledge wins even on the weeks that we're not doing streams. So yes, I will start posting the wins even on those weeks. But have a great day. I'm glad that everyone was able to come. Hope that there was some positivity and good insights, and I will see you all soon. Mwah!